What's the crack, everyone? And just before we start the creepy TikTok compilation, I know many of you have been questioning my whereabouts, but before that, I want to give a special thank you to everyone in the community and everyone who has been sending out messages concerning my whereabouts. I really am grateful and thankful for that, guys, so I really do appreciate it. If there's one thing that I can say about this community is the love, the support, and the positivity and the faith of many of us is just immense. It really is, and I couldn't be any happier with the community that we have. I really couldn't. So thanks very much, guys. It really is something special, this community, In terms of my whereabouts then, so what's been going on is the past, I've lost two of my friends in the past year, and me and my family have just been getting hit relentlessly, one thing after the other this year, and it finally just caught up with us, and it kind of caught up with me as well, and so it's been weighing me down, and so I needed to take some time out of, I needed to remove myself and detach myself from social media and that sort of thing to try and get my burn straight, and focus on my health, both mentally and physically. So that's pretty much where I've been. In terms of you guys, I do apologize that there has been no transparency, but I definitely will in the future. If anything is to occur again, I'll be sure to provide a video so everyone's on the same level, so we all know. As you guys know, because I've been under a rock for so long, I honestly don't know what's been going on. So apologies if there's any, repeated clips, but just bear with me. We will get to where we need to be eventually. So yeah, great. This is a long ass intro, so on that note, I want to say thanks very much, guys, for your patience and for still being here, and let's go ahead and dive in.
The McDonald's Corporation just had an ad come out a few months ago that they're looking into research and development in a technology that will afford them the ability to pump their commercials into your brain while you're sleeping. You think that they figured this out or some other company figured it out first? You think if they're going to have this available to them next year, you think that there weren't agencies that have been wielding this for a decade or so?
Where can I read about this?
It's immediately available on the internet. Imagine if they can do that next year, who's been doing it for the last decade or so? Now, when we look around the world and we see everybody acting the way that they are acting, let's consider that these intrusive thoughts have already been present. These are the weapons of war contemporarily. It's very unfortunate. It used to be that war was a bit more noble when we selected people, we put them in uniforms, we sent them over there to the battlefield, and we said, fight for us. Now, unfortunately, they've circumnavigated the battlefield. Nobody's dressed in uniforms anymore, and the front line is every neighborhood that we're in. It's just that now the average mortgage payer is in the line of fire.
So I did some research, and it turns out the method this guy's referring to in relation to McDonald's is what's called TDI, so Target Dream Implantation. And it says here that TDI has a history that dates back millennia, especially among groups who value dreams or spiritual practices, according to the sleep researchers. What bothers me is the fact that they can actually affect us spiritually, in terms of corporations, and the thought of that is actually quite frightening. So the next time that you have a dream about French fries from McDonald's, one's going for a dip and the other one's getting salty about it, just know that, it's actually you're being spiritually attacked at that stage, mate.
I want you to notice what I notice. I was shown these burned logs in New York City. My first words were, they're going to start burning the world down. 2 days later, Maui begins burning. I posted this video the day before Maui began burning, and Canada and Greece and other areas. I also showed you this sheep, which is a symbol for the masses, being winched out to safety. We've had floods, and we've had fires, and we've had earthquakes, where the masses have needed rescuing and evacuating where they lived. Legoland will always tell you what is coming next, and when you remember it, it becomes all very clear and very loud and very real. I remember the future. The next event is coming in the water. We have internet outages coming. And we have an internet raid on the financial system in which they will collapse the entire market. The signs are there for all to see.
They can't help but hide things in plain sight, but I do believe that when you see these kind of things, whether it's statues that is erected in New York City or murals placed somewhere else or colour schemes, I do almost think that that's a means of communication between them. And an example of that would be in terms of Ukraine. So just before all that started, if you look from 2020, the colour scheme that was leading right up to that was always yellow and blue, and then once that took place, all of a sudden you no longer seen those colours, and that's what I'm trying to get at there. So I do think it's a way of communications between them.
So I'm in Arizona, just driving through,
And tell me when the fuck they started making clouds. What the fuck? You know, I've been through here like 20 times. I've never seen this shit. That's wild.
To me, it just looks like a farm that's burning stuff in the fields. But, you know, if it was like a machine, for example, my question is, doesn't the machine turn off at night? Because I'd be very curious about that. Like,
Richard, can I ask you a serious question? About young comedians.
About young girls, ask me about that. You don't like young girls? Say you don't like young girls or don't.
Smile if I don't like young girls. No, I like young girls.
Yeah, I fuck them. I ain't no good, ain't trying to be no good. I ain't no good, ain't trying to be no good.
I may end up running off with you myself, you know.
That's what Steven says.
It's Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good director, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steven Spielberg is a pedophile.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies. Cold babies.
You have a daughter who's a really good-looking chick. Well, you may be able to change her life and improve your financial status. Because Prince Andrew is looking for a new girlfriend. Just drop a nude photo of your little nymphette in a self-addressed stamped envelope and mail it to Royal Affair, Buckingham Palace.
this clip just makes your stomach churn. It really does. I mean, these men here are absolutely vile. And the fact that he just jokes about it just, you know, I mean, that just tells me the kind of character that person is. He obviously does it himself, like, it's clear. But these kind of people, they're vile. They need a good slap up the arse, and they need their wee fellas cut off and shoved in their mouths, and told them to suck on that.
This is creepy.
Look at them. Sweet, pretty losers, everyone. Remember we're talking about Crocus, right? Make Daddy love you. And sexy baby.
Sexy baby.
Sexy baby. All right, get up. Earn it.
All I can say about Tom Hanks is that I finally realised and understand why his toy character was called Woody. Dortball by... So this is actually true. McDonald's does have contracts with hospitals all around the world. What I don't get is, you know, you go to your GP and the first thing your GP would always say, you know, you need to lose weight, or you need to start eating healthy, or you need to be on a diet. Oh, by the way, if you do take a heart attack due to your obesity and you are in hospital for some time, well, in the off chance, if you do get a bit package, you can always go ahead and visit your local McDonald's. That would just be an elevator and 5 steps away. You're welcome.
Okay, so have a sanitary napkin here. See how thin it is. All right. If you notice, it has the 3D sides on it. The sides are amazing. The protective sides. Okay. Now, if you notice, nothing happens. Right? It's a 7-watt light bulb. If you take it, you open this up. Here's the strip. Nothing happens. Once it gets wet, put it in the water. Once the graphene is infused strip, boom, it works. So when that strip is wet, the light bulb illuminates. So the graphene evidently is activated when the strip is wet. That's powerful. Very powerful. Alright? So that's the best way to use the graphene strip. Showing the power of graphene and a sanitary napkin. All right.
I need a whole lot of sanitary towels and graphene strips to get these lights going, let me tell you.
So if you lie to the government, it's called a crime. But if the government lies to you, it's called politics.
And if you lie to a judge, you're a solicitor.
It's getting freaking wild here. Not just the US, but the entire Earth. People are passing away like crazy from cancer. I'm about to show you something really scary about cancer in a minute. And also, people aren't having children. I just warned y'all about this not too long ago. So you know how every single year that goes by, it seems like more and more and more of your friends are unable to have a baby for some reason? Now, before we get into infertility again, which is plaguing the United States, let me show you something very, very scary that the World Health Organization said. Cancer cases around the world are expected to surge to 77%. 77%. 3/4 of the Earth will have cancer by 2050. As y'all know, cancer has been very quickly raising the last few years. But with everything I'm about to show you, it looks like a very dim future with no children and everyone passing away from disease. This is from the CDC and it's crazy. In the United States, among married women 15 to 49 years old, no prior births, about 1 in 5, 19%, 1 in 5 are unable to get pregnant while trying. It used to be you just screw up and you got a baby. Now 1 in 5 can't even have one when they're trying. Also, about 1 in 4 women in this group have difficulty getting pregnant or carrying the pregnancy to term, which means 1/4 of all women in the United States cannot get pregnant even if they tried, and if they tried, they will not be able to hold that pregnancy. There's 350 million Americans, let's just assume they're all women. That's 75 million people. And it's not just the inability to have a baby, but the infertility rate in just over a decade has dropped almost 1/4, 23%. Here's the scary part. You need an average of 2.1 children to be able to sustain human life, right? We're at 1.6 right now. Not to mention the cancer overload. And they're trying everything. Now, if you're a visual learner, the fertility rates have created a slide at this point. Here's it again. So why is the US and the world birth rate declining? Let me know in the comments. And one more time for the people in the back. Worldwide, we are facing a cancer plague. And again, in the other video, I showed you that the contaminants in the water were making the shrimp unalive themselves. Speaking of shrimp, all these shrimp just washed up on a beach a few days ago. Like, this is crazy. I showed you all these fish washing up, these whales washing up. The water is not safe.
It seems that since 2020, the whole world has been in a full decline and has just been falling apart ever since. In terms of cancer and the resurgence of cancer, we understand, environmental changes and food and water and that sort of thing. But you know and I know, and you know that I know what I'm getting at. And someone out there doesn't know what I know and what you know, but who knows? We understand that thing since 2021 has been the main factor as to why people, or why there's such a high rise in cancer, so to say.
Bro, look at these clouds.
A group of fishermen have experienced a bizarre sight from a boat in the Gulf of Mexico. This flying saucer-like cloud formation forming in the sky off the Florida Keys, looking like something out of a sci-fi movie. Fear not, though, the formation known as cavum or punch-hole clouds are caused by planes.
In other news, St. Patrick having resurrected and was found shaking in his own grave to learn of the news that he didn't get all of the snakes out of Ireland. St. Patrick had since then proceeded to capture Mr. Faradkar and threw him in the river. Since then, Ireland has been celebrating ever since, and St. Patrick himself now resides back in his grave where he rests in peace.
What did I just walk into?
Here, I don't know about you, but that angry 560-year-old woman, she's sexy when she's angry.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Hey, Kitty, just like we talked about, be nice to the kitten, okay? Bye! You will die! Okay, yeah, he's pissed. We should probably go. Bye!
That cat saying you will die, that's literally every cat's inner dialogue when it comes to humans.
Once more, we vanish thee. Begone, dull care. Fire shall have its will of thee. Begone, dull care. And all the winds make merry with thy ducks. Hail, fellowship's eternal flame. Once again, midsummer sets us free.
I'll let you be the judge of that. It's hard to make out anything there, if I'm honest with you.
Who owns the rights to the interior of the Great Pyramid? NASA.
What?
I was told by one of the guides a couple years ago that they've discovered something technological about it and they want to control it.
That's spooky, man.
They also own the rights to a section of the Grand Canyon. So I took a helicopter down into the Grand Canyon. They said we can't walk to this area. That area I heard had some old carvings or something would be over in this area. So I started trying to walk that way. And this guy pops out of nowhere with all black on, black hat, black military outfit with no logos, and an AR-15 and tells me, halt, you can't go any further. I'm like, well, why? I said, what's going on? Well, didn't they tell you couldn't come over here? I said, well, they did, but I'm thinking, I just want to see, what's over here.
Right.
And he says, you can't come. I said, well, why? What? I said, can you just tell me, sir, like, why can't I come over here? He says, NASA owns the rights to this section. You can't come over here.
At the Grand Canyon.
At the Grand Canyon.
Do you have any theories of why that is?
There's got to be technological. Starts in something with space. And then also, where else? Chaco Canyon. Same situation. So wait a minute. What's going on here? How in the world what are they doing?
When it comes to NASA, you just don't know what kind of shady dealings they got going on. I mean, for all we know, they have restricted access to the Grand Canyon because they probably found a civilization of Neanderthals and they're just experimenting on them and then getting them to dig for more technology or something crazy like that.
Blessed is he who reads aloud the words of the prophecy, and blessed are those who hear, and who keep what is written therein, for the time is near. He is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him, everyone who pierced him, and all the tribes of the earth will wail on account of him. Those of you who have not learned what some call the deep things of Satan, I know your works, I know your toil, and your patience.
Back in the day, the closest thing you would have got to a ritual in a concert would have been a mosh pit. That would have been like a rock concert or a heavy metal concert. But it seems like nowadays, pop stars are just performing these rituals on a daily basis in their concerts, and no one's backing an eyelid and thinking it's all part of an act or a play or a song or whatever. I mean, it baffles me how people don't see this as like a ritual.
Welcome to The Rabbit Hole. Whenever I bring up the name Rachel Chandler, this show always gets brought up. Doja Cat made her own version of Friends. I'm sure there's a picture of all of us floating around doing that. And that's an interesting sweater his assistant's wearing. Could I have had a longer day? Looks like Matthew Perry in the bathtub, some candles lit. Oh no, that's crazy. Died in a hot tub? Anthony Bourdain posted this about Friends 5/6/18. Anthony Bourdain died 6/8/18. Enough about the show, friends, though. We're here for Rachel Chandler. Did you know Rachel was a DJ? I don't know if she's ever did any of his shows. She did marry a Guinness, though. You should look them up. And, you know, hang around with the Rothschilds.
You know, guys, I don't know about you. Maybe I'm not seeing straight, but that doesn't look like Rachel Chandler to me.
Y'all need to pay attention and listen up. The Biden White House is meeting with experts on pandemics about this bird flu.
There is a highly contagious pathogen jumping from bird to cow to human. Texas health officials issuing a statewide alert after the first confirmed case of human infection with bird flu that came from a dairy farm. USDA.
And at the same time, we're about to see a major disruption in the food supply as the largest fresh egg producer in the U.S. finds the bird flu at their plants. This is in Texas and Michigan, and they're pulling all the eggs. They're stopping the producing of eggs right now. Be careful, because if it is in the eggs that they pulled back, how many eggs in our fridge right now actually are tainted? Now, I'll tell you what my opinion is. Again, it's my opinion, but I foresee this possibly being a really big thing. They're talking about how chaotic and hard to stop the spread of this virus and how quickly it spreads. The Daily Mail even goes as far to say it's a matter of when, not if. And crazy enough, it looks like this article was actually published before it actually spilled over to humans, because it says how bird flu is edging closer to human spillover, which it has now done. And if y'all think this is the only thing going on, man, I got so much to freaking tell y'all.
So the question is, if there was another pandemic and another lockdown, would you abide by the rules of the lockdown, or would you just completely reject it and just scrap it? Let me know. And also, anyone from Texas who have any new updates regarding the bird flu, could you let us know in the comment section? Thank you.
Never know what's going to happen. This baby fell out of the sky and landed in our yard. It's never boring on the Welke farm. Thank God there's no horses out, or it didn't hit the house. And it's still going and flashing.
Honestly, that looks like something I would have made back when I was like 10 years old. I think, Samsung had like a board meeting with a bunch of engineers, $350, and says, here, build me one of those space jobs up in that sky there for me, please. And then that's what they came up with.
Everything is red and blue because it symbolizes the physical world. Democrats are blue, Republicans are red. They have a red tap and a blue tap, red pill and a blue pill. They want you to believe the model of the atom is this because they want you to believe everything is physical. Everything you call physical is actually a holographic. It's light waves slowed down in motion. The true model of the atom is an electromagnetic torus field. The proton, the electron, the neutron. Magnetism radiates, which then produces an electrical vibrational phenomena. The physical world is a product of electricity, hence why you see the pattern of it everywhere. The red and blue light produced by magnetism manifest its duality into the physical world, day and night, hot and cold, good and evil. The symbol for phi is the torus field. The physical world is the phi cycle, the cycle of the atom, the torus field. Circle is the psych L. L means God. L is the 12th letter. 12 zodiac signs. The zodiac is the cycle of the electromagnetic torus field. So much more that goes into this, but if you want more information, read the book.
You spend your early years trying to get away from being educated, only to spend the rest of your years wanting to be educated. So there's your education lesson for today, I suppose.
Isn't it weird to think that so many versions of you exist in other people's minds? Some people may see you as a shy person who doesn't talk, while some might see you as an annoying person who doesn't shut up. Some may think of you as kind and caring. Some may see you as cold and mean. Some see you as timid, while others see you as crazy. It's like we're all these characters sketched out in the perception in those around us. At the end of the day, we're not just confined in the box that others try to fit us into. Maybe it's about finding comfort in the fluidity of who we are. It's up to us to find who we are under all these different shades and interpretations. In the midst of all the noise, do not forget to listen to your own voice. It's the one that knows the true melody of your existence, beyond the perceptions and the interpretations. Because after all, the version of you is the one you create for yourself.
Very wise words and very true. You know, you need to be best friends with yourself first. You need to be your first friend, because if you can't be your first friend, it's going to be difficult to have other friends. It's going to be difficult to have families or a partner, etc. Unless, of course, if you have the Lord and Savior, then He shall be your first all the time, and then yourself second. But if you can't get on with yourself, you need to find ways on how to, because you know you've built up this self-image, this perception of yourself and how you're being perceived by others, but it's just a reflection of yourself, and you're going to struggle in life if you can't change that, you know. But you can change it, which is the good news. But you just need to find that way in yourself. Anyway, talking tribe.
Hey Siri, if Diddy did diddle dudes, how many dudes did Diddy diddle?
According to my calculations, if Diddy did diddle dudes, Diddy diddled over 1 billion dudes.
Oh damn, does that mean Diddy's getting his doodle did?
Oh, most definitely. If Diddy's found guilty, Diddy's definitely getting his doodle hole diddled by dudes with large diddles.
Oh, Diddy done did it now.
That's the end of the show, guys. I hope you enjoyed the creepy content, and apologies if you've seen any repeated clips. We will definitely get there in the next video or two. But if you enjoyed what you've seen, guys, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, like, comment, and share if you can. YouTube has this vengeance for us creators who are pushing this kind of content out. But if you can do that for us, we would really appreciate it, guys. But until the next video, please look after yourself, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you then.